The crosswalk light turned green, but no one moved. Cars rushed past, horns blared, and in the middle of it all stood a blind woman, gripping her white cane with both hands. She could hear the city breathing around her, but no one spoke to her. No one reached out. One by one, people walked past as if she wasn't even there. What happened next would change two lives forever, and remind everyone watching that a single act of kindness can echo farther than we ever imagined before we begin. If stories like this move you, inspire you, or remind you of the good still left in the world, take a moment to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments. This is Kindness Lights, a place where small human moments shine brighter than anything else. Her name was Margaret. She was 62 years old and had been blind for nearly half her life. Not born that way, no. She lost her sight gradually after a medical condition stole the world from her piece by piece. First colors faded, then shapes. Then one day, everything went dark. But Margaret never let the darkness take her spirit. Every Tuesday morning, she walked 3 blocks from her small apartment to the local pharmacy. Same route, same rhythm, same confidence. She memorized the cracks in the sidewalk, the sound of the traffic, the smell of the bakery on the corner. Independence meant everything to her that morning, though. Something felt different. Construction noise filled the air. The usual sounds she relied on were distorted engines idling in places they weren't supposed to be, voices echoing unpredictably. When she reached the busiest intersection, her heart tightened. She waited and waited. The light changed, but no one spoke. No one offered help. She lifted her chin slightly, hoping someone would notice the uncertainty in her stillness. People passed her. A woman in a business suit glanced at her phone and stepped around her. A man with earbuds brushed past, almost hitting her cane. A group laughed loudly as they crossed, not even slowing down. Margaret felt something worse than fear. She felt invisible. She took a step forward, then stopped. The traffic sounded wrong. Too fast, too close. Her hands trembled slightly as she pulled them back toward her chest. I can't do this, she whispered to herself. That's when a voice cut through the noise. Ma'am, would you like some help crossing? The voice was calm, kind, close enough to feel real. Margaret turned toward it. Yes, she said softly, relief washing over her face. Thank you. The man gently placed his hand near her elbow, not grabbing, just guiding. My name's Daniel. We'll go when it's safe. Daniel was 28. A delivery driver running late. His phone buzzed in his pocket with notifications he ignored. He had seen Margaret standing there alone, while everyone else rushed past, and he couldn't walk away. They stepped forward together. Daniel matched her pace, slowing his own stride to keep her steady. Halfway across, a car inched forward impatiently, and Daniel instinctively raised his hand, signaling the driver to stop. For the first time that morning, Margaret felt safe. When they reached the other side, she let out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. Thank you, she said again, her voice thick with emotion. You have no idea how much that means. Daniel smiled. I'm just glad I was there. He started to walk away, but Margaret hesitated. Young man, yes. Would you mind walking with me a little farther, just to the pharmacy? Daniel checked the time. He was already late, but something in her voice, so careful, so hopeful, made the decision easy. Of course, he said. They walked side by side. Margaret talked as they went, telling him about the neighborhood, about how she used to paint landscapes before she lost her sight, how blue was her favorite color even though she couldn't see it anymore. Daniel listened well. They reached the pharmacy. He helped her inside and waited while she picked up her medication. Before leaving, Margaret reached into her purse. Fumblings. Wish I had something to give you, she said, but all I can offer is my thanks. Daniel shook his head. That's more than enough. He left thinking that was the end of it. He was wrong. 3 days later, Daniel's truck broke down on the side of the road. Repair costs piled up fast, far more than he could afford. Without the truck, he couldn't work. Without work, bills stacked up mercilessly. One afternoon, his phone rang, an unfamiliar number. Hello, Daniel, the voice said. It's Margaret. I hope you remember me. He did. She explained that the pharmacy clerk had helped her find him. That after their walk, she couldn't stop thinking about how a stranger had helped her when no one else would. You see, she said gently, I may be blind, but I'm not helpless. And I believe kindness should be returned. Margaret had once been a well-known art teacher in the community. Her former students, now grown, still adored her. After hearing her story, they organized something quietly. A week later, Daniel stood in disbelief as his truck repair bill was paid in full. Not only that, inside the envelope was a note. You helped someone cross the street. We're helping you cross a hard moment. With gratitude. Daniel sat in his truck and cried. But the real gift wasn't the money. It was the reminder that kindness doesn't disappear. It waits, and it comes back often when we need it most. Margaret still walks to the pharmacy every Tuesday. Sometimes Daniel joins her. Sometimes other people do too, because one day, one man stopped, and that changed everything. If this story touched your heart, let it remind you of something simple but powerful. Kindness doesn't require wealth, strength, or perfect timing. It only requires noticing. The world is full of people standing quietly at their own crossroads, hoping someone will care enough to stop. Be that person and let your kindness light the way. The crosswalk light turned green, but no one moved. Cars rushed past, horns blared, and in the middle of it all stood a blind woman, gripping her white cane with both hands. She could hear the city breathing around her, but no one spoke to her. No one reached out. One by one, people walked past as if she wasn't even there. What happened next would change two lives forever, and remind everyone watching that a single act of kindness can echo farther than we ever imagined before we begin. If stories like this move you, inspire you, or remind you of the good still left in the world, take a moment to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments. This is Kindness Lights, a place where small human moments shine brighter than anything else. Her name was Margaret. She was 62 years old and had been blind for nearly half her life. Not born that way, no. She lost her sight gradually after a medical condition stole the world from her piece by piece. First colors faded, then shapes, then